Welcome back to Gym Intense Sports. I am Lucky, joined by Josh and Scotty. You can find all the links to all of our pages in the description box below. We are live, Season 2, Episode 3. It is a special episode. We got a special guest, Deezcards from TikTok. We're going to bring him in a little bit, but I got to check with the boys. How we doing this week?
Busy.
Good.
Work.
Yep.
Working, that's it, dude. I haven't even had time to go through no cards. It's been a shitty week, I guess you could say, in the aspect of my card life.
Yeah.
Except for Ekman, that's his
through cards.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all Ekman does. Sometimes I don't
Yeah.
even know if if you even have a regular job, because every time I'm talking to you, like, you're either sleeping or you're like, yeah, I just grabbed the big old lot and I'm going through like these 3,000 cards.
Yep.
Since he Rip says let's go D's, he's going to be here in a little bit, but right now we got to talk about one of the more historical things in sports right now, and I want to get your guys' opinion. LeBron breaking the record. What do we think? See, for
I'll give my first opinion. I'll give my opinion.
Okay, yeah,
first.
We'll go Josh first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I am a well-known LeBron hater. Always will be, probably. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. He is one of the greatest athletes of all time. I don't think he's the greatest of all time in basketball. I don't think he's the better than Jordan. I think Kobe's right there with him, but he's probably a little bit ahead of Kobe. But no, he is by far one of the greatest athletes of all time. What he can do in the game with like stats wise, I mean, he's obviously setting records that will never be broken, probably. But at the same time, you look at TikTok videos, you look at Facebook posts and stuff like that. Everybody's giving their opinions on what it is. It's never good. It's gonna be one of those things. It's just like when a president's pick. Like, everybody's gonna have a opinion, basically. Everybody's gonna believe one side over the other, and I'm just happen to be on the Jordan side. But I will give credit where credit is due, and that is he is the greatest of all time, athlete wise. Like, there's just nobody else that is like him that way.
Scotty, what about you?
I think when it comes to total points, it's a little blown out of proportion. Like, LeBron James has played a lot longer than a lot of the guys and some of the guys that are behind him as far as like total points scored. So when it comes to total points, I mean, yeah, you still have to be an absolute baller to do what he did. And LeBron is definitely one of the best basketball players that we've ever seen. But at the same time, he doesn't. I don't put him right there with like Kobe or Jordan. And Jordan, I do think is the best basketball player we've ever gonna see for maybe ever. I don't know. It's gonna be really hard because I feel like basketball has gone so soft now that the eras are different. I mean, the competition's different. You know, everyone says, well, you know, look at all the stuff that LeBron's done as far as like, you know, making it to championships and stuff like that. But don't forget,
Shout out to Tundra real quick. Mamba equals the GOAT. That's probably my favorite comment so far.
I am all about that.
Yeah. I know a lot of people like to. I think the bigger discussion is between more Jordan and Kobe. I don't think a lot of, like, for me, I respect that he did break the record, and I think that's a great accomplishment. So congratulations to him. But just because you've scored the most points doesn't mean anything. Like, again, he's played more games than, you know, the guys that he's beating. So, you know, of course he's gonna, you know, naturally have more points scored, you know. And then I know some people's argument is like, well, look at all the championships he's been to. Well, look at all the championships he's lost. You know, would everyone consider Brady the GOAT if he won only 3 of those Super Bowls?
Yep.
Would we be saying the same thing about Brady? So to me, it's just, you know, I just put Kobe and I put Jordan ahead of LeBron James as far as who I think the best basketball players are.
There's a lot of noise in it, right? Because, I mean, you can't look at just the whole points, right? Because it's longevity. He's playing in an easier league. For me, it's a 3-point league right now. There's not as much defense. I mean, when Jordan was playing, they're literally clotheslining him to the ground. He earned every one of those points. And by the way, one little stat. So LeBron, guess how many 3-pointers he's made in his career? 2,470. Kareem only made 1. So, I mean, a lot of those points are extra on the 3-point with not a lot of defense on you, because as soon as someone shoots a 3, what does everyone do? They run to try to get the board, right? So, Cincy Rip says it's all about the era of people here talking to who's the GOAT. Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yep.
And let's not forget Jordan. Like, look at the Celtics team Jordan had to go through. I mean, they got 5 Hall of Famers on that starting team. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
That was some insane teams that, the Celtics and the Pistons and some of these other teams that Jordan had to go through. The East, as far as when James was with Cleveland, man, the East was just, it was terrible. It was trash. You know what I mean? That's why when he would go to the finals, he would get beat by these teams from the West because they were just more battle hardened. They had to work a lot harder to get to where they were. And the other reason I can't put James as the GOAT is because he left and started these super teams. I'm not about that. Kobe, everyone said he would. The one thing I really respect a lot about Kobe is that when Shaq left and everyone said Kobe's not going to win a championship without Shaq, he didn't jump ship and leave and go join another. He stayed and he made sure he won a championship without Shaq.
Yep.
And I have so much respect for that. He didn't give up when a lot of people were like, oh, well, you're done. You're never going to win another championship. Instead, like you said, he put on that Mamba mentality and he went out there and did his thing and he won without Shaq. And that's just one of the small things about, Kobe's legacy. Jordan, he never left the Bulls. I mean, Jordan left to play baseball in the middle of his prime, came back and then won another championship. How many guys do you know?
Won another 3. Let me correct you on that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, he's coming back and he's winning more championships, and it's just like, who does that? You know what I mean?
Hi, Zach. How are you?
I agree.
So,
What's up, Papa?
Oh yeah, no, that's so he's one of my coworkers, and it's a long story, but I'm Papa, so he knows what's up. So
he meant to put an I where that A is.
Poppy. But yeah, the last thing I'll say about that with the super team thing. So they interviewed Jordan before, and he said, "Could me and Magic and Bird have formed a team to win all the rings? We could have, but for me, I want to win and prove I'm the best. I wanted to beat those guys. I don't want to join those guys. I want to beat those guys."
Yeah.
So Jordan and Kobe, they're just a different breed. I mean, Kobe tore his Achilles heel and said, "But people saved up money to come see me play. I have to still go out there and shoot these free throws." Like, he's a different beast, dude. If I tear my Achilles heel, I'm on the bench, bro. You got to carry me somewhere. I'm not walking. He's shooting free throws, but no. So there's a lot of guys here for the special guest. I think we're going to bring him in and stick around because at the end of the interview, we're all going to give some fun Super Bowl prop bets that maybe you want to place, maybe you don't. We'll find out. But let's bring in Deezcards. How you doing, Dan?
What's going on,
What's
guys?
up, Dan?
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool to have 4 of us now. I mean, we haven't had 4 people since our boy Poke was on here with us a long time ago. So
Rest in peace, Poke.
Poke.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get to it. So I wanted to ask you a couple things here, Dan. So the first thing that I'm sure the other guys want to know too is, so how did you get started in doing all this with the sports cards on TikTok and all that?
Well, I think that just like a lot of people that got into this, is a hobby I shared with my father, when I was a kid, when I was younger. And then, COVID kind of hit, and that's when I started just sitting on my butt, going through TikTok, watching people open cards, and it relived a bunch of stuff of my childhood. And, just like, again, everyone else, you get the whole thought like, hey, I could do this, so you jump on, you turn on your live. I started with a pull box and a dream, you know what I mean? And, spent days, weeks, months just doing free trivia, goofy stuff like that, not selling anything, just kind of BSing with people. It was more just a hobby, something fun to do and mess around. And then, and then came the game, you know what I mean? Then came the game and everything kind of changed from there, so.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I remember when I started this, I bought a bunch of, what was it? Donruss blasters for basketball. They were nothing, right? But I'm like, I'll put together these little breaks. And now I look back at the breaks I was doing when I first started. I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, I did a Donruss clearly hobby box for NFL. I charged like $30 a team. There's 20 cards in that box. We didn't pull one thing. The autograph in the box was Jacob Harris of the Rams. So
it was a lot of weeks of my wife telling me it's stupid and it's silly and what are you doing wasting your time, and get out of the basement and go do yard work.
Go do yard work, right? So
Yeah.
I'm fortunate because my wife, at first she's probably like, what are you doing buying all these cards? But now I'll go to work after I do a break and I'll come back home and she's like sorting all the teams for me. She was, look, honey, I separated this and this. I don't know if the Mets or the Yankees, though. They're both New York, whatever. So no, that's pretty interesting. So the one thing though on your live is the roulette game. So how did you come up with the roulette game?
Again, it kind of went through months and months of nothing. And you scroll through TikTok and again, anyone that's listening or anyone that's watching, this is no offense to anybody that has a pull box or does duck races or does any of that, but they're abundant. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer in you got to be different. You got to, again, I said it earlier, you got to zig when everyone else is zagging. And I'm a degenerate. You know what I mean? So I love roulette. I love the game. So I just figured out a way. And with the game, there's a ton of different ways that I run it, right? I mean, I've ran it to give away memorabilia and cards, and now I'm using it for breaks. So it's really honestly taken me into an area where I never thought I could ever go. When I first introduced the roulette, I thought I was going to be a trillionaire. It was absolutely insane. I mean, there was hundreds of people in my life. My wife had to come down and help me. My kids didn't eat for like 5 weeks. We were all downstairs, on live. I'm just joking. My kids ate. But no, we had all hands on deck. It was like we had everyone down there. It was crazy. Again, it was we thought we figured it out, and what the problem was is that no one was winning. Because when I first came out with it, you would just play one number. If you hit the number, jackpot. You would win whatever chaser you had. What people don't realize is that it's not easy just to hit one number on roulette. You know what I mean? It's very hard to do. So I went like 2 weeks with so many people buying and nobody winning. And again, I was like, I need to figure something else out. And again, it's all trial and error, but I've been blessed. I've been really, really blessed with the community that I have, the people that I built up, the people that have been with me since day one. Props to them more than anything. Because when I first started, I didn't think it was going to be anything like this.
Do you use the whole board on the roulette table? Like, do you use like the black and red and the 50-50 and like different things like that, or?
Right. So there's a couple different ways I do it. So when I first rolled it out, it was one number, play it any way you want it. This was the buy-in. You could win an autographed jersey, a helmet, a slab, whatever you choose. It was a choose your chaser type situation, And now the way I run it with my breaks is I just make it affordable. Instead of doing 10 ducks, or mini ducks and all this other stuff, I just take the 38 numbers, right? 00 and 0 and the 36 numbers, denominationally divided by whatever the break spot is, and I fill the board, get as many numbers as you want. You want to get one number. We've had more people than I could count at this point that have hit with only one number on a $120 team. You know what I'm saying? So that's a win. I could pull the freaking someone said the other day I could pull the Harlem Globetrotters out of the teams and it's a win for $3. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's how I run that now with the breaks. Before now it's fill the whole board and there's always a winner. Before it was go ahead and roll the dice and gamble. And again, we're all degenerates, and I did have people that were doing that, but me, I couldn't sleep at night. Like it was like I need to have winners. I need to figure out a way to have somebody win every time. And now I made it where there's everyone wins. Someone wins every time. Some people win more than others,
And I'm sure you learned through trial and error that, to get people to come back, you need winners. Like if people are just getting in, they're not winning, and they're going to be like, oh, I ain't doing this anymore. I can't win nothing or whatever. So, that's a good way that you basically upped it a little bit to where you're going to try to you want people to come back and keep playing and keep playing. And,
no one likes to lose, and no one likes to sit on a live and watch losers either. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I know everyone always says that, and it's like the biggest cliche thing in the industry where everyone always says, I'm in it for the hobby and I'm in it for the people. And then, they count their money behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? I truly am. And that's one of the main reasons why I signed on with the team I signed on with Divine, is because he's the same exact way. We truly are for the people. I mean, he gave away a $2,500 spot in the backyard break 2 weeks ago. I mean, who does that? You know what I mean?
That was crazy. Yeah.
That's insane. It's insane. So, I mean, again, it's, we are building something different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Again,
There's a perfect comment right there from Patrick. I guess it's in your live. He said that he got $220 teams for $10.50. I mean, you can't beat that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Again, it's not ducks. Again, and this is nothing against people that run duck races, right? Because it built the industry. Let's be realistic. Duck races built a lot of people's business. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to take anything away from what happened. But again, I just want to be different. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that same type of person,
Yep.
Yeah. I got a question now. Are you only on TikTok, or are you trying to expand your horizon as far as like maybe one day going to Whatnot, maybe trying to YouTube or anything like that? Or do you just feel really comfortable with just like the traffic that you get through TikTok?
I guess I'm comfortable with the traffic I get. I get it. I mean, now that doesn't mean that I'm never trying to not expand. I do hear a lot of the stories with Whatnot and the fees and the things that people are able to do as far as like canceling orders, and if it they don't pay you out for like 2 weeks, or I don't know the exact specifics, but that kind of startles me a little bit. You know what I mean? Just because with the way that I run my game, when people are buying into spots, there's a lot of people that don't get anything. There's one winner, 37 losers, on the board.
Yep.
So I don't want those people to be able in some way to say, I never got anything, charge back. You know what I'm saying? So that the way that I run my game, I just, Whatnot scares me. I think it would be more Twitch probably first, YouTube, maybe something like that. Again, I'm always trying to, you gotta adapt or die,
Yeah, no, for sure.
Aren't politicians trying to shut down TikTok? I'm not sure about that. I know they were saying that they were talking about not possibly shutting it down, but they were saying politicians were
over here for
that. But if you think about it, what app do you have on your phone that isn't keeping track of you?
Exactly. They'll never shut TikTok down. It's too big. It's too big.
Yeah,
I've always
shut down Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
I've always said, like, people hear you on the phone, right? And they're saying that our government listens to us. Like, if my government wants to hear me order a number 7 at Taco Bell, good for them, because I'm not doing nothing special they need to care about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I'm not doing nothing special, like I do card bricks and I eat, whatever I'm going. Like, it don't really matter. But so going back to the roulette game. So because we got listeners too that are watching, right? So if I go in your live and I have no idea how to get started in it, what's the first thing I do? How am I getting involved in it?
So the easiest way to explain it is, like for instance, the last break I ran, teams were $100 a team. So what I did was for the board, I ran $3 a number. Okay. Because what I do is if you buy 10 numbers and you don't hit, I give you 2 free numbers on the next game automatically. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's $3 a number. We fill up the entire board. Again, we spin and there's a winner. It looks super complicated when you're looking at it because there's so many moving parts, but literally that's it. You could pick one number. You could pick 38 numbers. It depends how much risk you want to bank it. Now, like going back to your question about the black or red or the thirds, we've been doing that as well, where as long as you have a challenger, again, with like a $50 team or $100 team, I'll do 55 each for red or black. If green hits, I respin. Winner. And then, but you have to have someone else that wants to challenge you, and they have to agree on the colors. And then same thing with thirds. We'll split it in threes, and you got to get 3 people. Someone will take the first 12, second 12, third 12. If you want to go that route. Again, the flexibility is there, right? I mean, I could do anything I want. Like I've done without breaks, just taking, like we have the Divine's built a great relationship with Real Autograph, where we're getting like the 3-in-1 boxes and the mem boxes now, where I'll just run those for people to dome off the game. I'll just take the $800 value on it, divide it by the 38, charge whatever, $20 a number or whatever it comes to, fill the board, one winner, and someone's coming out big. You know what I mean? Again, you get one number, you can get freaking 38 numbers. It depends how much you want to risk it. Trust me, I've had people that have gotten more than half the board and taken an L. You know what I mean? So it only takes one number. That's it.
Right.
Yep.
Man, that's awesome.
That's good.
So how long did it take you to actually like fine tune the game? Because I know it's really hard because like obviously you're not going to do this for free because you have your time that's invested in it. You have like a lot of the stuff that's behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see when it comes to like the packaging, the sending out and stuff like that. That's all time, out of your life that you have to do that other people don't see. It's not just, oh, they just play the game and the cards magically, come in the mail. You know what I mean?
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to come up with like, okay, I'm giving enough away to where I know I'll get customers back, but at the same time, I'm going to put a little money in my pocket to make it worth my time as well. Like, how did you come about with that?
Trial and error, a couple L's, more L's
Yeah,
than
for
W's,
sure.
You know what I mean?
For
So,
sure. For sure.
that's what it boils. I mean, when it comes to the mem, when I was running my game where I was giving away prizes, okay, what I would basically do is I would have a set value of what I would never go in higher at. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that every board was going to produce X amount of dollars. Now, the other stuff that I was doing when I was just giving away the cards to everybody that got in, like nobody was losing. Like what people didn't realize is that's $5 per every L to ship that stuff. No matter if I put a freaking toilet paper in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So once that, I figured out the math on that. Again, the biggest thing with me, and I think that the biggest thing that my community, I hope understands, and why I built such a great one, is that I truly don't want to get rich off this. Like I don't. You know what I mean? And I think the second that you try to is the second that everyone sees right through that and you're done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's so many people. The market is so flooded. You could turn on your TikTok app and your thumb will fall off before you end trying to go through people that are running breaks. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing is that 89% of them are trying to get rich, so the other 11% are the ones that are going to succeed, in my opinion, so.
Yeah. When you're doing breaks, you have to make sure you get enough to make it worth your while, right? But again, when you try to get rich and you try to rip people off, I mean, that's not what this hobby should be about. Like when I started Lucky's Elite Breaks, I wanted to make sure I'm giving good value to people. Like I'm going to make a little bit, and most of the customers we have, they buy their own stuff, so they know what the stuff costs, right? They're not stupid. They know what I paid. So it's like, I'm going to be very honest with you. Like, yeah, I'm overcharging a little bit, but it's to cover shipping and my time and supplies, right? But like you said, I'm not trying to make, $900 on a break that doesn't cost that much, right? So, and again, that helps people come back and all that good stuff. So going back to when you said trial and error for your game, I want Scotty to indulge you a little bit of his trial and error for his Monopoly game, because I don't know if you've heard this story. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So when I've gotten kind of out of breaks, I'm trying to do more just shows now because I enjoy that environment a little bit more. But so when I was doing breaks, I had a Monopoly game that I did, and I was trying to come up with ways to do it, and I ended up setting. I was thinking, I was like, okay, there's no way someone's going to be this lucky, and I had a thing in there where you could basically win all my prizes, right? The very first person that did it, and he's the guy that would buy the most for me. He's Jared. I don't know if he's in here. I doubt he's in here. I'm actually glad it was him. Let's just say for $50, he got about $400 worth of products.
Because he had chance cards. It's like if you get halfway around the board, because you only get one trip around the board, and they didn't have a chance card that said, "Oh, freebie, you get to go to the start of the board again." And Jared hit that card like 4 times.
He kept hitting. So what it was is like if you landed like on the train or anything like that, like you got to go back spots, or there was a lot of ways that you could like go back and just continuously hit and hit and hit. And the one chance card, there was only one chance card in there that was like clear out the board. He ended up clearing out the board, and then I had a pull box. And in the pull box, I had one card in there that you pulled out, and it was like win the pull box. And he won the pull box on top of winning everything that was on the board. But like I said, with Jared, I didn't mind because it wasn't just some random person. Like Jared had spent a lot of money with me prior. So I was really happy that it went to Jared. But after that, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to definitely fine tune this thing because, yeah, I definitely lost out on I had to restock completely up after that. So. But it was fun. It was a good time.
Go
So-
back to the comments here real
Yeah.
quick. Dan is a great guy. He just has bad taste in teams. I'm assuming Bears and socks because I can see it behind you, and then you're wearing the socks hat. But is that basically your teams there? The Bears.
Yeah, Bears and Sox. Obviously, I'm a diehard Brady fan, so I grew up a Michigan fan. That's why. So I grew up
Okay.
watching Brady.
I'm a Ohio State fan, so no hatred here. No hatred here, but
Oh,
I just
boo.
had to tell you
Oh,
right now.
Yeah, no, I can agree with his teams except for I'm a diehard Cubby, so
Yeah, I know. I seen you with the hat on in the other podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to make sure I wore my socks black and white today. For
you
sure.
know, so when these guys are coming for the National Card Convention, I promised them the Wednesday because we're going to start going the Thursday. I'm going to take them to the Cubs Sox game on the
it's
Wednesday.
Crosstown Classic.
A
We
little
got
crosstown
We'll be
rivalry
there.
here, do I sense? Or
one of my boys, Zach Fly, that's on the team. He does the baseball breaks for us. He's coming down here. We're gonna do that as well. So I'll
nice.
see you guys
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So, so when it comes to ripping and you're doing breaks, what's your favorite sport to rip?
Oh, it's football. I
Football.
love football. I think it's the most exciting thing to rip. And see, it's just that I love baseball as a sport, but ripping it, there's just so many players. You know what I mean? Like, you could ask me anything you want to know about the White Sox, and I'll be able to tell you. But when you start asking me about the guy in quadruple A from the Mariners, it's just, I don't want to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I want to be
Yeah.
genuine with a lot of the stuff I know, or I open. I want to know the product. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what the hits are and what aren't. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to go on eBay and see if it's a good hit or not, or pretend like it's a good hit when it's not. You know what I mean? So, and then basketball. Again, I like the sport. I don't like to open the product. Just a lot of repetitive stuff. Not enough players. You know.
There's a good question from the comments. Deez, what was your most memorable break so far? Or do you have one?
I would say probably it was one of the first ones we did going into the new year, and we hit 4 101s in the same break. That was
wow.
great.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a flaw. We had a flawless in it. We had a flawless case in it, and we hit 3 101s from the same flawless box. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
It was like
that's
$100. It was like $100 break or something like that. It was nuts. That would be probably the most memorable one. That one or my first one. The first break I ever did with Divine, I hit the Gold Trevor out of 10 auto from a blaster. It was
crazy.
nuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those would probably be my two best ones.
Here we go. This is another good question. If you could give a new collector advice, what would it be?
Buy what you like. That's my biggest thing is don't
That's
buy
great
what
advice.
don't buy what the market dictates. Buy what you
Yep.
like. You know, the reason I got into or I stayed with collecting as an adult and not just a child anymore is because financially it is benefiting. You know what I mean? If you play the market, like I don't know anything about stocks. I don't know nothing about if I should put my money in Apple or frickin' Google. I don't know anything about crypto. I don't know nothing about Dogecoin. I don't know, and don't ask me anything about any of that. But I know a little bit about sports. You know what I mean? I'd like to think I do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I've my entire life. So I'd rather invest my money in that stuff, buying low on a guy that I think has talent. Because let's be realistic, where the market was 2 years ago was unrealistic. So everyone that says, oh, the hobby's dying, the hobby's dead, it's not. Just realistic. It's a realistic hobby now. You know what I mean? So if you dictate the market off of where it's at now, you could still be extremely profitable if you're smart and you think you know and you watch the game. You know what I mean? So that new collectors, buy who you like, buy who you love, buy who you watch, and be happy with what you collect. You know,
And definitely
And,
timing
go
plays
ahead,
a
Scotty.
huge role. Yeah, timing plays a huge role in everything too. You know, I collect baseball. So with baseball, it's like what you said. You know, you got to know what's going on down in the minor leagues. You know, because you want to get that first Bowman or anything like that before they come up. And make their debut because that card's going to fly up. Now I've seen a lot of people put into a lot of money into players that were promising, and then they get up to the pro level and they can't hack it. You're always going to see that. So at least with football, who you're chasing. Let's be real. And I feel like with football, you have more of a chance to make your money back than you will in baseball, because you really do have to invest in so many more players when it comes to baseball than you do with football. I mean, if you hit a Patrick Mahomes, one of one, you're golden. You know what I mean? In baseball, you could hit. There's a million different players with one of ones, and they may not amount to anything. It might end up being a dollar card in a year from now. You know what I mean? So it's just, with football, I will say there's a little less risk in it when you rip it, because I think it's easier to know who to sell and who you want to keep and stuff like that. With baseball, it's all about like, okay, is this guy I should hold? Is it someone I should sell right now?
For me, new advice for a new collector is if you're chasing it for the money, because I've had a couple people come into my breaks and then know nothing really about the card industry, and then they'll message me right after like, yo, how much do you think I could sell this for? And I'm like, dude, if you're in it initially to make money, you're gonna lose. If you're in this because you love collecting and you love players and you know what you want to do, then you're going to have a lot better of a time. Because you go into breaks. I mean, you're going to say you go into 10 breaks, half of them even, you're probably not going to hit anything memorable. You're breaking to get that gamble of what you could get. There was another comment here by Tundra Mafia. He says, what is your advice to guys that want to start breaking? Also, what's the hardest part of breaking? We'll go to Dan for that.
Oh man, you're gonna make me take that one, huh?
Right.
I'll say, for me, I would say my advice to anyone that wants to start breaking is have a plan. What I mean by that is that you have to always account for sending out 32 packages no matter what. If you're running a team break, you have to account for minimum $4 to $5 to ship to 32 people. So once you have that built into your break off of the dollars that you spent on it, again, my advice, don't get rich. Don't compare yourself to Backyard Breaks or Vortex or any of these other big monster guys that literally just turn on their live and they can fill a break in 10 minutes at whatever value they put at it. They can put any dollar value at it, realistically. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not there. You have to just be fair. And again, the hardest part of breaking is getting through that initial first run, right? When you first start, normally the way it goes when you first start breaking is you'll get that first break rush of all the people that you went through their lives and you supported them for however long before you wanted to start doing it on your own. And they just feel obligated that they have to come back and get in your break. That's going to end after the first one. You know what I mean? So what you don't want to do is fill that first one fast and then put all your eggs into that same basket right away again. You know what I mean? You have to be realistic that when the second one takes 2 days, maybe 3 days to fill, it's not the end of the world. Don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that it's not for you. Just understand that you have to get to a point before you get there. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just be yourself. Be honest with the people. When they ask you when they come in, hey, is this going to fill today? Don't say yeah if you don't know if it is or not. You know what I mean? Be honest with them. Hey, we hope it is. I'm going to work my hardest to get there. This is the time that I'm going to be on at. What I'm not going to do is stay on until 4 a.m. and have you miss what I open. You know what I mean? Go back and we'll plug away at it again tomorrow. You know what I mean?
And you're also wasting people's time too, because if I'm your first customer and I buy in and then I'm sitting there for 4 hours waiting for it to fill, I mean, you don't want to tell me like, oh, it's going to fill tonight, because then I'm glued in for 4 hours and then we'll come back to it tomorrow. So I mean, I have good success with my breaks. And last night, I mean, you even came in there, Deez, so I know you saw, but just wasn't a big night, and I didn't take any offense by it. I'm like, people are busy. It's Friday night. It is what it is. We'll come back to it tomorrow. And just as long as you're honest with the people, I mean, they should understand. And I saw Zach here said, I don't know what breaking is. So breaking is pretty much, you could buy like a hobby box, right, on your own and maybe not hit anything. And you're going to spend $300-$400. So breaking is, I as a breaker would buy, 10 hobby boxes. And then I put it up there. I divide it out by per team. And then you pay for a team. So if you don't hit anything, now you're only spending $70 to get into 10 different hobby boxes where you could hit something. So for example, Jared was on our break the other week. He bought a good amount of teams, but he bought the right teams that he knew who he's chasing. And he got, Scotty, what do you think those cards were? I mean, the Julio and the Wander, what, $1,100?
Well, the Julio Rodriguez being a 1 out of 5, that card alone is going to end up being valuable. Right now, with baseball being in the off season, a lot of cards are down, which typically happens. Again, that has to do with the timing. He hit that nice Wander Franco auto out of what, 15? That's
Yep.
a really big card. So
That's big.
yeah, so it's about when you go into a break, like know that you there's two chances. Either one, you're not going to hit anything. I've gotten into breaks and I've gotten 2 cards.
Yep.
It's a risk that you take, or I've gotten into breaks and I picked the right team and I ended up just hitting everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So kind of like what Dan was saying, that there's going to be some times where, people come in and unfortunately they're not going to win much, but that's also the risk you take. It's a gamble. It's just like going to the casino and, pulling out $50 and hoping, you hit something, you win or whatever. It's always going to be a gamble, but you will always know when you're in a good room as far as like breaks go, because the person that's doing the break will immediately know who has hit and who hasn't, and will call and usually call you individually, like, like here sack fly breaks, like, sorry, maybe you had like, the Chiefs in a break and you hit nothing. You hit absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? A good breaker will send you cards in the mail as far as like, hey, like, I know you spent like maybe $75. Here's like, $25 worth of cards out of my pocket, to make sure that they come back. Because sure, like, they spent, they were nice enough to come in and spend $75 when they could have bought the product themselves, for, $100. You know what I mean? But it's the atmosphere, it's the entertainment, it's just the way that it's ran. Like, I know when I go into breaks, I'm very picky now. I used to just get into a bunch of different people's breaks because I just enjoyed it. But over time, I cut a lot of people out. There's about maybe 4 guys now that I feel comfortable buying from, and it's guys that have taken care of me when I haven't done well in breaks. Those are the guys that I know are in it because they enjoy the hobby too. These other, I went on Whatnot, right, and I got into, like, it was a pretty expensive break, and I can't remember what team I had, but I hit one card. I spent like $60 and hit one card.
Oh, wow.
And that's literally all the guy sent me, was just the one card. Now I know I don't always expect to get something, but to me, like, when I was breaking, if someone got into my break and hit one card, I'm not mailing him one card knowing that he spent $60 and he
You're
hit
gonna help
one
him
card.
out. You're gonna
I'm
help him out
gonna,
and give him stuff.
yeah, because like that card might only be worth like $2 or $3. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's the big deal if I go into like my thousands of cards that I have over here and I send him 10 cards?
Yep.
That's nothing. That's not really, like, it's just sitting at my house not doing anything. So might as well send
like
it to someone
that's
who's
like
gonna
what
enjoy
Dan
it.
was saying, is that's what he fixed in his thing with only having one winner, or having maybe no winners, was you have to try to bring people back. So now that person, if you spent 60, got one card, but now you sent him 10 to 15 free cards, he's like, well, at least he actually cared enough to help me out and whatever. So that person has a chance now to come back and buy off you again and get in your game or whatever it is.
So I'm going to show 2 more questions from the chat, and then we're going to get to our last question for D's, and then we'll go to the Super Bowl bets. But I found these 2 questions interesting. So this one is from Cincy Rips. What is your most valuable card, Funko memorabilia that you own? D's and Gem Mint 10 Sports. So let's start with D's.
Man.
Too many to pick from.
I would say probably my most valuable wouldn't be my most dollar valued card, but it's my most personal value. I have the set of 12 jumbo Jordan cards that I collected from the Gatorade cap back in the 90s with my dad. They're in mint condition. They've been in top loaders ever since I was a kid. So I would say that's probably my most valuable card, personal card set. I would say cards in general.
Yeah.
Personal. I mean, I got the triple auto with Rodman, Jordan, and Pippen on the Sports Illustrated. That's in the safety deposit box. That'd probably be my most dollar value. But
yeah, that's pretty sweet.
How about you, Josh?
Well, for anybody that listens, you know that I don't really collect. I'm not a collector. I love selling. I love selling to people. I love making people happy. So I always buy to resell and get people what they want. But my most valuable, or what got me into the game basically of sports cards here in the last couple years, was whenever I got a free box from a yard sale that someone was just giving away. It was a bunch of old baseball. And I pulled out a Mike Trout rookie card. And
Wow.
that's basically what got me started in the game. And ever since then, so that's probably my favorite card, and one of my more valuable cards.
How about you, Scotty?
So I'm going the same route as Dan. I don't really look at the value of cards. I'm a huge, even though he's not with the Braves anymore, I am an absolute huge Freddie Freeman fan. I really, really like Freddie Freeman. And I have a quad patch auto at a 10 actually of him that to me that card will never go anywhere. I don't care what someone offers me. That's just it's I love it. It's awesome. You know, I even have some of his rookie cards. He's a guy that, to me, for me, you can't put a value on it because of how much I enjoy Freddie Freeman. So that's but I would say maybe my highest dollar card. It's gonna end up being, because I'm very high on the guy. It's a Gunnar Henderson auto that only has a pop 3 in a PSA slab that actually hit on a break. That's probably going to end up being my most valuable card. I don't know what it's going to end up going for. Right now it's going for around 400 right now, but once season starts and he gets called up, that it'll probably double or even triple in price.
Wow. For me, so again, we're not going off of value, right? But valuable to me is, and Dan can agree, we're from Chicago. So I grew up, I love Jordan, the greatest of all time. That's always my, go-to. But when I grew up playing basketball with my friends and like open gyms and all that, Kobe was the guy. So I have a connection with Kobe that I just love his cards. And I have a Kobe numbered to 300 jersey card. It's probably worth $300, but it doesn't matter because for me, like, that's the one card in my collection I'll never part with. I might sell something else at a card show, cannot get rid of my Kobe. The card that I had that was the most valuable, I had the top Steph Curry rookie, but I sold that to put more money into Lucky's Elite Breaks. So it is what it is. I should have hung on to it, but just wanted to get more stuff to provide to people, and I made the sale on it, and I knew it wouldn't gem mint 10 if I graded it. I was like, it's probably gonna be a 9, so sell it raw if I'm gonna sell it, and
100%.
and be done with it. So
Yep.
but yeah, so, and then there was one other question. I gotta find it because it's right here. So Sackfly Breaks asked, what was our favorite baseball product and football product of the year? So we'll start the other way around. We'll give Dan a break this one. We'll start with Scotty.
Actually, I really like the new capstone. And now it's
I
by
knew you were going to
Panini.
say that. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Now it's by Panini, and the problem with is that it's they don't have the baseball license, so they can't put the logos on their products, and I know that turns a lot of people off, but to me it doesn't matter. Like, if I hit an autograph, it's still autographed by the player. It doesn't matter. I really, 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 I wish I could show the cards, but I don't think I can. I don't think it'll show on here. Here's like a Julio Rodriguez rookie. I don't know if you can't really show it on here, but yeah, Capstone is right now is my favorite baseball product. I don't collect football, but I do like optic football though. I like the look of optic football. If I were to go with a football product, that would be my stuff. So Capstone, and then those are my two favorites.
Good. How about you, Josh?
I don't really purchase a lot of the product cases or boxes. But I do like the look, like Scotty was saying. I like the look of like the select, the optic, the mosaic. If you get like the silvers, die cuts, like I love the look of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, anything that has a little bit of difference to it, like anything you get numbered and stuff like that. I mean, I like a lot of that stuff, but I don't really get into the product as much as like buying boxes and stuff. So yeah, probably not a great question for me.
I thought you were going to go Hit Parade. You bought that case of Hit Parade.
I will say, I did buy a case of Hit Parade. But that was a little bit of everything. I mean, you have Flawless, National Treasures in there. stuff like that. So yeah, I mean that was obviously one of my best products I've bought yet. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I like Mosaic and Optic. Not Mosaic 2021. I like the 2022 Mosaic a lot. The look of those. I did not even start really collecting baseball till this year. I've always loved baseball, but never started collecting. I got to go with Scotty. The new capstone is amazing. So even in my new break we got going on, we got 2 first off the lines. I'm so pumped to see what's in those because capstone is just fire. So that would be mine, but we'll go with Dan on that one now.
Spectra football,
Yeah.
without a doubt, hands down.
Yep.
Not even close. There's nothing else that's even close.
Okay.
Baseball wise, I don't really know much about what's but football, Spectra, hands down.
Nice.
Yeah, I do love the Spectra. I have a Spectra Waddle RPA and the Hyper, and it's absolutely amazing looking. So yeah, I do like the
even
Spectra.
the base cards out of there are gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the last question we had for Dan here is, how did you get involved with Divine Breaks? Let's talk about Divine Breaks a little bit.
Okay. So I would say it was a few months back now. We kind of communicated with each other on. I seen that he was starting to hire people to break, and that's when my game was full fledged. You know, the roulette game, and I was giving away the memorabilia and the slabs and the things like that. And I love cards, man. I love the hobby, so I wanted to run a break, and my people were always asking me like, "Hey, you ever going to run a break? You ever going to run a break?" So when we had originally talked, it was like, "Hey, I'll do one of these, a week. I'll do it, make it a Sunday thing for my people. We'll run a break. It'll fill fast, and that's that. And then when we did it, it filled super fast. And when I looked into him as a person, because there was other people that would reach out to me like in my messages, like, "Hey, I see you got the traffic. You ever want to do this, or you want to do that?" And it was always, when they would reach out to me, it was always about money. Like, "Oh man, we can make so much money doing this, or we can make so much money doing this. All just let me invest. Let me throw the money at you." And I was like, no thanks. You know what I mean? Now with Divine, it was more about the people. You know what I mean? What could we do to change the way that everyone else is doing everything? You know what I mean? Make the breaks affordable for people, not get rich off it, and truly be about the people, about the hobby. So from there, we just built a great relationship. The guy's a great guy. I mean, I would love to have. I mean, I think you guys should have him on here one time. You guys would love to talk with him.
Yeah, I think I reached out to him on TikTok. It was funny because whenever Lucky introduced or told me about having you on, and he said you were with Divine, I talked to Divine about 5 or 6 months ago about the same thing, but I was never really into the breaking part, so it just didn't really match up right at the time. And I told Lucky, I was like, "Oh, that's crazy," because I was actually talking to Divine off of TikTok a while back. So yeah, I messaged him, so hopefully we can get him on too. And then I would love to get Tundra Breaks. I think he's a part of them also.
Yeah, Tundra's a monster. Tundra, Cincy, Sackfly, they're all in here. Those guys are all part of the team. David Miguel, he's the guy that does like a lot of our designing and stuff like that. He's in here.
Open invitation to any of those guys. Open invitation. Message us on the Gemmit 10 TikTok or on one of our TikTok personals. You can message us.
Sackfly is actually our baseball guy, so you guys would probably really hit it off.
Yeah, bring that guy on here because baseball. Yeah,
he's our baseball guy for sure. So I mean, like I said, the team is great. We have a handful of guys that are started small. We started this 3 months ago. And the growth that we've had in that 3 months is absolutely insane. I mean, we got a partnership here. Hold on.
Yeah, for any of those guys, you ever want to be on the pod, let us know.
We got our own hit parades, 3 different levels of hit parade. This is our 6th series of hit parades. I mean, we got a relationship with the Real Autograph now. Like I said, it's just it's amazing to see where we've gone. In just a small amount.
That's awesome. That's really cool to see. Congratulations on that.
And it's only been a 3-month time. So like I said, I mean, it's a bunch of just young, hungry guys that are truly, like I said, for the hobby, man. We do it right. All our people, the community is great. Everyone gives back. And like you said, the biggest thing is nobody should feel obligated to have to give something back. Like if I get into a break and I don't hit anything, I'm not going to message the guy like, oh man, I didn't hit anything. Please send me something, or I'm never getting in again. Like that, like, you know, that someone does that to me, I'm honestly probably not going to send them anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the guys, you know, I always tell people at the end of the break, hey, if you feel like you were just really done wrong, things are wrong, hit me with the DM. I'm always sending out extra stuff. I got no problem doing it. You know what I mean? And I never get one. I never get it. I never get a message, but I'm always sending out extra stuff anyways, because if I'm going through someone's piles, like you said, I'm not going to ship someone just one card.
Yeah.
Like what do I look like folding up one card in a freaking bubble wrap and putting it in a mailer and sending it to somebody? You know what I mean? Like, again, like you said, I'll grab 4 or 5 other of my other cards that honestly might collect dust over in the side of my, you know, where I'll find them 10 years from now. You know what I mean? And then it makes someone happy. And even if they're not worth anything to the guy, at least you tried. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you
showed the initiative that you wanted to give him a little bit more because you know
the little handwritten thank you note. Hey, thank you for the support.
Yeah,
you know,
I've gotten a few of those. Those are awesome. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I always when I have the cards packed in the bubble wrap and all that, I always write like thank you for your support or whatever. Message them, and I always tell them if you're a first time shopper with me, I'm gonna hook you up. So the last break I did, a guy came in. I said, tell me your favorite team in the DM. He said the 49ers. I'm sorry, Scotty. I went through my personal collection. I'm like, you know what? This guy supported me. I got a black border Prism Trey Lance rookie. Here you go. Here's that. And then a whole bunch of other singles I had. Because I'm like, you know, you're supporting me. I got all these singles and I used to collect, but now I'm more for the business side. So yeah, I send a bunch of stuff out, right? So
yeah, and he kisses he puts on lipstick and kisses the thank you note and then sends it off as well.
Yeah.
So don't freak out when you see it. Yeah.
I grab my wife's perfume, a little spray on it, and like air it out and put it in there.
And he has his link, and he writes his link to his OnlyFans as well on there too. So shout out to your OnlyFans.
Ariana Grande perfume. You know?
No, that's good. So yeah, that's all good stuff, man. So I like everything we talked about. So stick around with us here, Dan. We're gonna go over our Super Bowl prop bets before we get off this thing. So Josh, let me turn it over to you since you had all the stuff written out.
Yeah, Fee Finder. Since he rips, though.
Since you're on there too.
So how are we gonna do this? We gonna just go and then all three of us just give us our each picks?
Sure. Yeah. Go over each one. We'll give our pick real quick. This is video proof. It's going to go on YouTube. We're going to come back to this and we'll have a little wager or something.
All right. That sounds good. All right. So we'll start with basically, I think everyone goes for this one. Coin flip. Heads or tails? I'll start. Tails never fails.
I got heads.
Tails never
I got heads.
I'm a tails.
You got heads too, Lucky.
It depends what side the coin is facing. If the coin faces heads up, it's going to be tails. So I don't know. That's how I always do it. I can't see it, obviously, so I'm going to go with heads.
All right. I'm going to tails. Deez, you said tails too?
Tails never fails, baby.
Exactly. All right. See, two gamblers know. We know. we know. Second one. Will either team score in all 4 quarters?
Yes.
Will either the team score in all 4 quarters?
I do. I think at least I don't think Kansas City's defense is all that great. So I think Eagles have a great chance to at least kick a field goal in any quarter. Yeah. And that, I mean, it's just a point, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't have to be a touchdown. So I do. I would take that bet.
I have one team is going to definitely score all 4 quarters.
You know me. I like to go against the grain. I'm going to say no, they won't. And I'll say it's the second quarter that goes scoreless.
Wow, guys, you're an overachiever. You're that guy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have this bet on here, but sack fly on the heads and orange Gatorade. I didn't put that one in there, but orange Gatorade on the color. I've seen that one often.
I'm going purple Gatorade because purple Gatorade right now is plus 1,000 on the odds on FanDuel. We're going purple.
I think that I don't think it's going to be a low scoring game. I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to say that,
really?
that I don't think there's going to be a team that scores every quarter.
Well, that's coming up here also. So
yeah, I think everyone thinks it's going to be like a powerhouse shootout. And I'll be honest, man, I think Philly's got it figured out on defense. And I don't think that Patrick Mahomes is just enough to get through that defense. I really don't.
Yep.
I really don't.
I agree with that.
Third one, which team scores the longest touchdown? Who's going to have the longest touchdown?
I'm going
Patrick
with the
Mahomes.
Eagles. I got the Eagles.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles
with
also.
with
I
the
think
longest
yeah,
touchdown.
that Chiefs defense is not that great. So I think the Eagles are gonna have that one pass to probably Devontae for probably 50, 60 yards.
I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce, 35 yards.
For the longest?
Yep.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say.
I don't think there's going to be many bombs in this. I think it's going to be. I don't know. Just trust me on this. I predicted before. What was it? Season 1 that the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl, and you guys doubted me. So here we are. I'm going Travis Kelce, 35 yards.
All right.
I think I'm gonna go
right.
AJ Brown.
Wait, no.
AJ
Yeah, I was
Brown
gonna
for
say Dan.
55 yards.
I'm with Dan on that one. I was going to say it's going to be something to AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. What will be the highest scoring quarter? This kind of goes back to if there's everybody's that score all quarter. Like, yeah, what do you guys think will be the highest scoring quarter? They're gonna start out strong, end strong.
Third quarter, everyone when both offenses come out and make the adjustments, I'm going with the third quarter.
Third quarter, okay.
Did you see the Peyton Manning? Not to go off track, but did you see the Peyton Manning comment that whole go in and make adjustments is a myth?
Yeah, I did. You go back there, drink a couple beers, eat an orange.
Yeah, he basically said that they go back there, they don't do nothing. They just go back there, BS a little bit, and come back out. So that was interesting. Whenever I heard that,
They may not, but doesn't mean the coaches don't.
In the fourth quarter, they're going to be doing a lot more risks in the fourth quarter. I think there's going to be a lot more bigger plays. Desperation's going to set in. I think fourth quarter's got to be the highest scoring quarter.
I'm gonna go first quarter. I think they'll come out. Yeah, I think they'll come out a couple bombs right off the bat, and then I think if anything in the second quarter or third, fourth quarter, I think they're gonna slow it down a little bit. I think they're gonna play more of like trying to run the clock out type thing.
Third quarter.
You third quarter, Lucky?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Will there be a successful field goal over 46.5?
That's a bomb.
Yes.
That's a bomb.
Yes.
Who do you have there? Is the Eagle kicker still Jake Elliott? Or is he gone?
I think 48-yard field goal to win the game.
I mean, they're both good kickers.
Ooh.
Yeah, they are both good kickers.
I would have to say yeah, because I do see it being, honestly, like I said, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I do see it probably being decided by like a field goal. If it's not decided by a field goal, Philadelphia is going to win by 21. That's the way I feel like the game's going to go. I really do. I feel it's not like that close. It's going to be a blowout on Philly's end. No doubt. Yeah.
All right. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be under. I think they're going to be able to move the ball too much that they're not going to have to worry about kicking that far away.
I don't think so either. I think it's going to be under.
Well, me and Dan got that one wrapped up.
Who will have the? All right, this is where it gets really good. Who will have the most passing yards?
Mahomes,
who believes in who?
Hurts.
No, Philadelphia is going to run the ball. That's what the Eagles do. Kansas City doesn't have that great of a run game. Eagles got a good defense. Kansas City is more likely going to be behind. I got Mahomes all day.
No, it's Hurts.
Deez, what's your choice, Deez? Before I give mine?
Because this is a tough question because you're right, man. I mean, I don't think Casey's got it figured out, but there's no doubt that Mahomes is a better passer than Hurts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But how many yards is really a lot? Like I could see Hurts passing for like 195 and Mahomes passing for like 225. You know what I mean? Like it's not a shitload of yards, but that's still more. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say Mahomes, but not doing it. No, he's not going to like wig out. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go Hurts. And I think he's going to go.
There we go.
I think Hurts is going to go 250 plus. I believe it's going to be a shootout. And I think AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are just going to eat all day on that team. So hopefully we'll see. But
wait, Lucky.
All right,
who did you take?
I took Hurts.
Hurts. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Who will have the most receiving yards between Brown or Kelce?
Brown.
Kelce.
I'm gonna have to go Brown as well. I think they shut down Kelce. I think I'm taking every under prop for Kelce. Every under. I mean, they put the man's shirt on the statue. He's doomed.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah,
he's doomed. He's doomed.
I'm gonna. Now that you said that makes me. I'm still gonna stick to my gut. Stick to my gut because I always
You're
do
a
that in
degenerate like
gambling.
me. You're a degenerate like me.
Yep, I have to stick to my gut. I'm going Kelsey. With who's out? McCole Hardman. I think McCole Hardman's out. I believe so.
He's been out though.
Okay, so Kelsey's really the only one they have right now. And as much as I think that they're gonna want to shut Kelsey down, can you shut Kelsey down? I think Mahomes is too. Yeah, I think Mahomes is too mobile. Well, although his ankle, I don't know how healthy he is right now, but I think he'll be able to get outside the pocket a little bit and get the ball to Kelsey. So I'm gonna go Kelsey, but just because, like you said, I'm a degenerate, I have to stick to my gut. I can't go off that. So, all right, everybody, give an answer there.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Total touchdowns scored over or under 5.5. I know Deez is going under, right? Yep, he's going under.
It's under.
Come on, Scotty, say it.
I got 6 touchdowns, so I'm gonna go over.
Oh, okay. All right, me and Scotty are on the same side then. I'm going higher. Yeah, I'm going 6 or more. I think it's gonna be a shootout. So
it's kind of like what you were saying, Dan, about like it could go one or two ways. It's going to be either a really tight game or the Eagles win by 21. And if the Eagles win by 21, that's already 3 touchdowns right there. Kansas City is going to score at least 2 touchdowns. So I mean, if they won by 25, that would be 5. That would be under. But this game's going to go 2 ways. It's either going to be 17-13 or it's going to be like 37-33.
Yep.
Those are, I don't see anything really in between.
Yeah.
No, I'm under. I think it's going to be under 5.
This next one's going to be probably pretty easy to pick for all of us, but total points scored over under 50.5. That's going to be a common one that everybody's going to be picking or betting on. So, I mean, obviously I'm going over. I think it's going to be a shootout, like I said, but you got to give your guys' take.
Yeah, I'm going over.
I would die by the over. I'll be honest. So if it's ever the under, I just won't bet it. Like if
you can't bet the under. No, you can never bet the under.
I refuse to watch a football game and root against.
Yeah.
So I would rather just lose the bet. I won't take the bet.
I don't want to be in the same room for anybody that bets the under. If I'm in the same room, I won't
bet the under because I think it's going to hit. But I'm not going to root against points. So.
Yep, you can't do that. Yep, I agree. Yep. Lucky.
Repeat it one more time.
Who total points scored over or under 50.5?
Under.
All right, you can get leave. I don't give a shit if you're the host. You can get out right now.
It's under because it's going to be 31.
You're replacing Lucky.
31-14. Eagles.
Ooh. All right. All right. Last pick. Who's going to win the game?
Eagles.
Kansas City.
I got you.
And I'm not. No, I'm not going with Kansas City because I think they're the better team. I do think that because they've been in it, and this is like, a lot of these Eagles, it's their first time. Not first time, but like this is Hurts' like biggest game. The Eagles defense also hasn't played a very like an offense like Kansas City yet. So this is going to go one or two ways, kind of like what Dan said. Either the Eagles do have that defense figured out and they can shut down Kansas City, or Kansas City comes out and says, hey, you haven't seen an offense like ours, and shoves it down their throat. And this is just a back and forth match all day long. So I'm going to go, hey, it says stick with baseball.
I like that. I love it.
No, that's the comment of the night right there. But yeah, I do. I know like majority of people are going with the Eagles, but I do think that
which as a gambler, that's a pure sign that you should be very, very scared to take the Eagles. Yeah, everybody's taking the Eagles. Yeah, Kansas City's probably gonna win now, but I got.
I do have Kansas City, but I have it in. I think it's going to be a very close game. It's either going to be a last-minute touchdown or a last-minute field goal. It's not going to be any type of blowout if Kansas City wins. If Eagles win, I think it's kind of like what Dan said. I think it's going to be because it's going to be about.
Fine. Last one. Final score predictions.
31-14.
37-34.
Dang, high scoring.
24-17.
There you go.
I think one team's gonna get into the 40s. I really do. I think one team's gonna get into the 40s. I think it's gonna be like a 42-38.
That's crazy. I don't see that.
42-38, high scoring, touchdowns all night.
That would be a fun game, though.
I'm gonna be driving during this game down south, so I'm gonna be in my car just watching touchdowns after touchdowns after touchdowns. That's all I care about. I want a nice, interesting game to pass away my 10-hour drive. So.
Hey, if Dallas can put up 40 something on the Eagles defense, then I think Kansas City can.
Just like my man said, that Philly only had 14 points in the last 8 quarters.
But here's the thing: who they play?
You can't count the
who
49ers. Look, as a 49er fan, you can't even count that game. We didn't even have a quarterback. So
49ers
to me, those well, no, you can't take those 8 quarters because 2 of the quarters they couldn't even throw the ball.
Don't get me wrong, Giants have been good this year. Was that the first game they played? Yeah, I think so. When they beat the Giants and they beat the 49ers. Giants have been good this year, but I think the Giants just met their match. But
absolutely,
the Giants aren't a force to be reckoned with on offense. I mean,
you're right. No. That guy
and the 49ers, the 49ers, they're sorry, Scotty, but I didn't think they were ever going to have a chance to anyway going into the playoffs with Brock Purdy. So I mean,
we will never know.
The 49ers' biggest problem is they're letting go Garoppolo, and Garoppolo was, I believe, going to be their answer.
No, because Garoppolo can't stay healthy. He stayed
if
healthy.
Garoppolo stays healthy, he's winning a Super Bowl somewhere.
But that's the thing. He's already proven he can't stay healthy. Like, I love Garoppolo. I think he's a very underrated quarterback. But if my guy can't stay on the field, I don't want him. That's just the bottom line. I need someone to stay on, because what good is it if he's only playing 8 to 9 games? We're going to see Brock Purdy anyway. So keep Brock Purdy. I think the 49ers quarterback situation is going to be very interesting to go back to. And in fact, Dan, here's one last question. Since you do collect football, who would you rather collect right now? Who would you rather collect Brock Purdy, or would you collect Trey Lance right now?
You're probably not going to like this as a 49er fan, but I think the answer is Trey Lance.
Yes.
I do. I don't think that Purdy is going to be as ready as he thinks he's going to be after the surgery.
Oh no, he's not.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's going to delay his production. That's going to give the whole offseason to Trey. I think they're going to. I mean, here's the fact is that it could be Purdy by week 2. Like, the thing about San Fran, just statistically, is I don't know what's up with their field, their stadium, their trainer, or whatever. They can't stay healthy. It's either every running back gets hurt, every quarterback gets hurt, or something. But there's one thing about San Fran is they're going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So. It does. I think it's just, honestly, I would just buy whoever's the cheapest. That's my answer, because they're going to have a peak at some point next year. One of them will. You know what I mean? So maybe both of them will. You know. So
I will say this: the reason I think is going to be Purdy, and the only reason, and it doesn't have to do with talent. I don't think Shanahan uses Lance correctly, and that's why he got hurt. Like, you can't just take your quarterback in shotgun and have him run up the gut. That's the stupidest thing you could do with your quarterback. Like, I understand, like, everyone's in love with the mobile quarterback and the mobile offense and all that, but I honestly I would prefer, if he's gonna have anything, let Lance drop back. If nothing's open, just do a backyard run. Just take off and run. Don't do these. Take the shotgun and run up the middle. So I think if Lance does end up keeping that job, like what you said, I think he's going to get hurt somewhere. Whether it be week 5, 6, whatever, Purdy's going to come in. They're going to win Purdy, and Purdy's going to keep the starting quarterback job, and they're going to end up they'll probably just end up trading Lance. But
like, they're not going to draft a quarterback, right? Trey Lance didn't have any time with CMC. I think CMC literally built a lot of Brock Purdy.
He did. Like, absolutely.
Like, that takes a lot of attention away from the quarterback. Like, imagine CMC with Trey. You know what I mean? I feel like that added so much more to that offense that I think that they keep them both. They're both going to be cheap as hell next year, so they don't need to really overpay any of them. They're both injured, so they don't warrant any money. You know what I mean? They're going to have them both at dirt cheap. They're not going to draft a quarterback. They don't need to, unless it's late. That's what I think.
No, I think it's going to be real interesting. And in fact, I think this is going to be one of the better off seasons we've seen in football, like league-wide.
And the 2023 class is no joke either. The 2023 class is probably one of the best classes that we've seen since 2020.
So I got a question, since you're a Chicago guy here. So I spoke a couple podcasts already of what I think they'll do. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think Chicago should do with pick 1?
trade it to the Raiders and take Devontae Adams.
Ooh.
I didn't even think about that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In a heartbeat. He gets to play Green Bay twice a year. I think that if they don't pull Rodgers over there, that's a no-brainer move for him and both parties, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like that.
We'll take that would be the ideal scenario. That's like the perfect scenario for me. You know, other than that, I mean, Fields is our guy, right? We're not trading Fields. That's simple. Right. We already know that. That's not going to happen. They're just doing that to try and build up value for that first pick.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are saying like the Texans will take it. The Texans really don't have anything we want. You know, all I know is that we have a ton of freaking money to spend and a lot of picks. So watch out for us Bears next year. Take your futures now. Take your futures now.
Yeah, because that's what I said too. They can't use the first pick; they have to trade it, and you got to look at the offense. Like I know that.
Oh, no doubt. We need a wide receiver in return, a big name wide receiver. If we can't get one, because we're obviously going to take the defensive or that defensive lineman from Georgia in the first round. There's probably nothing about it. So you know, we need to build up a defense, obviously too, as well. As much as we need offensive weapons, I do think Claypool takes a step up next year. He was like, I mean, for the price. I mean, we'll see what's there in the second. You know what I mean? What we could have had. But see, I hate Notre Dame, but I like Claypool. You know what I mean?
This is what I would do with all the cap space that you guys have. I would draft young offensive weapons to grow with Fields, and I would sign veterans on the defensive side of the ball with that money.
Well, we definitely need at least one big body veteran wide receiver, without a doubt. I would like last year. I'm going to be honest. Last year, this sounds crazy, but I really wanted like Julio, someone cheap like that, like a big body veteran wide receiver to train some of the younger guys that's been there before, someone that could like jump up and catch a ball. Like Fields isn't the most accurate in the mid range. He's accurate, super accurate deep, but like middle range, like middle of the field shit, he's terrible at. So he's going to improve on that stuff, but we need a guy that could like jump up and get the ball, a guy with a catch radius, not like Darnell Mooney, who's just going to, we have guys that can fly downfield and catch a deep ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But as far as like the over the middle, go up and get a ball, quick dunk type guys, we need that for sure.
Right. Boys, Josh, Scotty, anything else?
No, this has been great. Fantastic.
Yep.
It's been a great show. So, Dan, real quick for everyone listening, where can we find you? When are you going to stream? What do you got going on?
So I will have a break running tonight. Deezcards 101 is where it's at on TikTok. Everyone that's in here, please give me a follow. I think there's a little link that they've been popping up over there, and it should be in the description, I think, too, right, or no?
Yep, everything will be in the description box below. So that'll be cool, too. And then also, you know, we want to bring you guys the best content ever, so I'll pop it up one more time. If you guys want to become a monthly supporter, scan that QR code. We use that to make sure we can bring you the best content. Maybe we use it to buy better equipment, whatever it is, to bring you the best content we possibly can. So make sure you scan that as well. But this has been awesome. I appreciate you being on. You're welcome here anytime. Maybe we'll, you know, later on this season, you want to come on. Absolutely. I'm all for it, man. So, and
I'll come on right after the Sox sweep the Cubs. We'll do it.
That'll be a violent one. I might have to rate that one rated R or something with all the. So, and any of the other breakers with Divine Breaks, if you guys want to come on here and have, you know, a little bit of fun like we did with Dan, I mean, our inbox is open, so no worries there. But yeah, Dan, thank you so much. Go check his breakout tonight. And we're going to post this video tonight. So if you want to do any of those Super Bowl prop bets, you can do that. Other than that, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Yeah,
all right,
thanks, Dan.
See you on the next one. Yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.
Thank you.